Short video from the ONS looking at the latest on the UK labour market for September 2011. For a transcript, email info@ons.gov.uk. We are going to look at the labour market estimates for the UK in May to July 2011, comparing them to February to April 2011. Firstly, unemployment in the UK for everyone aged 16 and over was 2.51 million, up 80,000 on the previous 3 months. Employment for everyone aged 16 and over stood at 29.17 million, down 69,000, while inactivity for those aged 16 to 64 was 9.38 million, up 11,000. Looking at August 2011, we can compare July 2011 for the claimant count, which is a count of everyone in the UK that are claiming benefits related to looking for work. Note that this is not the same as everyone unemployed, as some people who are unemployed do not claim benefits. The count stood at 1.58 million in August, up 20,300 from July. We can also look at unemployment by the length of time for which people have been unemployed. Bringing up this pie chart and splitting it up into 4 lengths of time, we can see that 49% of those people unemployed in May to July had been unemployed for up to 6 months. 17% for 6 to 12 months, 17% for 12 to 24 months, and again around 17% for over 24 months. So nearly half of all unemployed people, around 1.2 million people, have been without work and looking for work for up to 6 months, and around a third, or 849,000 people, have been unemployed for over a year. Looking in a little more detail now at those people who have been unemployed for over 12 months, going back to 2005 and plotting a line showing the percentage of all those unemployed who had been out of work for over 12 months, we can see that in 2005, 20.9%, or around 1 in every 5 unemployed, had been unemployed for over 12 months. Now, if we plot a line to show the start of the recent recession, and plot another line showing 12 months after the start of the recession, the percentage of unemployed people out of work for over 12 months was broadly flat from 2005 up to 12 months after the start of the recession, standing at 22.5% in April to June 2009. It then started to increase as those who entered unemployment at the start of the recession and remained unemployed for the next 12 months had now been unemployed for over a year. This continued to increase through 2010, although at a slower rate, and the percentage of unemployed people out of work for over 12 months currently stands at 33.8%, or 849,000 people. If we break down the percentage of people unemployed for over 12 months into those unemployed for 12 to 24 months and over 24 months, we can see that recently there has been a fall in the percentage of unemployed people out of work for 12 to 24 months, while those unemployed for over 24 months has continued to increase, as some people who were previously unemployed for 12 to 24 months move into the over 24-month group, and it currently stands at around 17%, or 415,000 people. We will now look at public sector employment in the UK since 1991. Between 1991 and 1998, there was only an annual estimate available, and from 1999 this data is quarterly. Following the 1990s recession, between 1991 and 1998, there was around a 10% fall in public sector employment, or 600,000 people, and it stood at 5.41 million in 1998, the lowest point over the whole period. Public sector employment then increased by 913,000 over the next decade, to reach a peak of 6.33 million in the final quarter of 2009, although it has fallen in recent quarters. Now, if we change the scale of the graph between 5 million and 6.5 million to zoom in, here is the annual series, and it shows that public sector employment stood at 5.41 million in 1998. And here is the quarterly series with the recession period shaded. Public sector employment increased between 1998 and 2005, before decreasing slightly in the run-up to the recession. It then increased sharply as some private sector banks were reclassified into the public sector and reached a peak of 6.33 million, but has declined since then, and public sector employment stood at 6.04 million in April to June 2011, a fall of 290,000, or 4.6%, since the final quarter of 2009. We can plot a line showing public sector employment had the banks not been reclassified and remained in the private sector. We can see that public sector employment would have been lower, and public sector employment excluding financial corporations stood at 5.83 million in the second quarter of 2011, the lowest level since the final quarter of 2002.